Good evening and welcome to the Halloween special. Hiya! Ain't this cool? This is just a jam jar stamped with our lovely new stamps onto rice paper and then put on a jam jar, which looks amazing. Thank you, Carolyn Lakin. You are a star. I've also got some other spooky stuff on the other camera. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I'll put this close to the camera. Look at that. Let's shed some light on it. Ta-da! I didn't want to do a spooky start and frighten all the kiddies. Look at that, that's fab. I showed this morning, but I had to show it again. And look at these babies. I've been so excited today. It's been a lovely day, and I actually didn't go off and do anything else. I carried on playing, which was really, really good. Didn't do any work, just carried on stamping and playing. So I've just really enjoyed messing about with these gorgeous samples. So Carolyn Lakin, Sue Jacob, who did this one, Kerry Sturman, Lorna Angwin, Leslie Blameyer and Wendy Wallace. Thank you so very much for all these gorgeous samples. They're just beautiful. I've got to show you some more, and I have to say a huge thank you to everybody who has supported us and bought our lovely new stamp collection and lots of other goodies. Look at this, isn't that cool? That's got to be Kerry's, hasn't it? Is that Kerry's? Oh, it's Wendy. Beg your pardon, Wendy. That's so lovely. Okay. Oh, look at that moon. That is really cool. Done with our sprays, which are just gorgeous. So the colours you've used are Luscious, Orange, Bottle Sunshine, Brass Monkey Paint. Love it. And then we've got Wendy's done a hoop with some stenciling on. That looks like super thick. That's so clever. Oh, and look at the wood slice. Nice. So we've got some tassels going on, of course. Red, black and green. Beautiful. Bit of wire there with our cute monster. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate you supporting us, and I hope you enjoy playing with all your goodies when they arrive. Look at this. So we've got some of our background stamps here as well, as we do here. So these gorgeous background stamps are being featured. Oh, nice bit of fusible film there. Nice bit of glaze as well, our ultrafine embossing glaze. Oh, I like that. Look at this. That's really cool. And then we've got our little boy who's coming on here. Oh, look at this one. This one by Sue Jacob. Clever. Very clever. And oh, I like this with all your potion labels in here. That's a good one. That's nice. Thank you, Wendy. And of course, Carolyn. Superb. Beautiful. Love it. Look at that. Stamped onto fabric, made into a nice big pencil case or makeup bag, and then coloured in with our paints. Beautiful. That's gorgeous. Thanks, Carolyn. And this one's Carolyn's as well. I love this. So it's the back a canvas flipped over, so you get a shadow canvas. Looks like she's actually drawn those herself. And Halloween on the gate post. lots going on there. I love the fussy cutting of the ghosts on that. And then I've got to show you this again. This must be Lorna's because it's got no name on it. I love this. So I'll just be really quick through these because we saw them this morning. And I love, look, that's fab, isn't it? And the little bottle and lots of textures in there. I love those. Alfie, if you could just take those nicely for me, thank you. And I think this is Sue again. Yes, it is. I love this this shape here is fantastic, and Carolyn did this. I hadn't thought of this, but it's brilliant. I love the background stamp, which is the skulls, the what's it called, that one I've forgotten, Dreaded Damask, stamped and embossed onto one of our Woodology silhouettes, which is fantastic. And then she's actually just done a circle of a head. Genius. Love that. Love the whole tag. We've got just a simple card, but beautifully coloured with luscious. And we've got just loads and loads of beautiful samples. These will be on the website very, very soon, but you can see them. Original oak vivid, that colour, love it. You can see them already on Facebook, on I Love Indigo Blue, and they'll be posted by our fantastic design team members. Oh, there's one missing. Here it is on Alfie's desk because he stole it. I'm really surprised you didn't open it. Is it going to be open 30 seconds after I've... Yeah, I think so. So this is your poison, Alfie. And unfortunately, we've already opened this one, Wendy. Yeah, Ella's already had the curly whirly. We did fight over it, but she wasn't sharing. So I love the idea of actually doing a little bag of sweets on the back of this, and also the clear bag as well. And I think Kerry's done this one. Yeah, you can tell it's gorgeous. Look at these, they're just so lovely. And our pumpkin monster is very popular. I think he's in the lead at the moment, very closely followed by our spooky girl and our spooky boy. And I have to just show you, here you go, darling. I have to just show you before we start these poison bottles, which are done by Sue Jacob. Everyone loved these, and in fact we actually had someone wanting to buy the bottles, thinking that we were actually selling the bottles. Unfortunately we're not, and the candle goes with it as well, which I think is fantastic. But those are just brilliant. So thank you very much, Alfie. There you go. Right, so I also wanted to show you, so let's show you the actual stamps themselves. Red rubber, cut out, already mounted, so they go straight onto an acrylic block, ink, stamp, done. Perfect. Keep the laminates because those are your storage solution as well. So we have our Scoopy Spooky Boy. Being normal is vastly overrated and too cool for school. If you've got it, haunt it. Love our spooky girl with our little ghost there. And then we've got our pumpkin monster, which is just fantastic. And of course we've got our little quote there from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Just
alter the angle. It's just
oh, sorry. Yeah, it's just the laminates are a little bit shiny. There we go. In fact, I have got I won't be able to find it now, will I? Never mind. So that's our spooky monster. I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Really delighted with these. And then we've got our fantastic poison labels for cyanide, hemlock and arsenic. And I love the fact that it has an antidote at the bottom, gives you an antidote, and it says if all else fails, call a priest. We've got our Halloween dictionary page, and of course here is Halloween, along with Hallelujah. Actually, there's Hallelujah. Half-Blood. Oh, that's not very nice. But Halloween is on there, and this is that fantastic background stamp called Dreaded Damask. I mean, it is a fantastic design, and then you notice that there are actually little skulls in there. So that's a nice big one. This is a nice big one, and these are 3 separate ones as well. Now, these go really, really well with skullduggery borders, which I have released previously, and I am going to be using these tonight as well, because they're fab and I love them. We also have Autumn Nights and Hocus Pocus on the website, along with some fantastic A6 ones like Batty. You've got to check out Batty. That is just gorgeous. That's a favourite of mine. And quite a few other Halloween stamps as well. So check all those out while you're there. And then we've got brand new stencils by Masks. You're right. They're not stencils. We had this long conversation and I don't know why I got it wrong. I started off saying masks today, didn't I? I did. Nodding. He is nodding. And then I got it wrong. But they are masks. Masks because... What did Ian say?
Dick Turpin wore a mask.
Dick Turpin wore a mask. Your mask covers up. Not a stencil. Dick Turpin wore a mask, not a stencil. It's so ridiculous in our life. Isn't there an easier way of trying to remember? And we've not even got a glass of wine tonight either.
No.
Oh, dear me. So these are masks. And I love them. Thanks, Mike Deakin, for doing these for us. I love them, and he did all of these 3 for us as well. Absolutely blooming superb. I did these anyway. we might be playing with those if I've got time. Okay, let me show you something else as well. They're just so cool, these. I just love them. Oh, Too Ghoul. Did you get that? Yeah, not very good, huh? Okay, so we've also got a kit to make our 3D piece here, which is a lovely creepy addition to your Halloween decorations. You could put lights in if you wanted. This one was done beautifully for me by Monsieur Deakin, who's done this. I really like the way he's done the hands. He's actually drawn on the little nails and everything, which is so cool. So this comes in a kit that he's designed for us, which is brilliant. It's all here, and then we've also got some additional pieces. This is in grey board. As you can see, we've got some pumpkins, a couple of ghouls, ghouly ghosts. Oh, I've said it again now. Ghoulish ghouls. Don't make me laugh, Alfie. Stop it.
You're doing it all yourself.
Ghoulish. Oh dear, it's a northern expression that anyway. It's not that naughty, it's just funny. Grey board. Just cringe.
It's obviously been a long day, people.
so sorry. Oh God, take a breath. So sorry. Oh dear me. It's all your fault, Alfie. It's just the way you look at me. Let's move on very swiftly. So these pop out really easily. Including, there we go, the skull and that and that. There we go. Super. Come on, last bit.
RIP's there as well.
Oh yeah. Push it out the other way. Oh, my fingers can't get a hold of it. There we go. So this is Medite. So as you know, it's a form of MDF, but it's a lot cooler, a lot better for you, a lot nicer, a lot greener. Now, normally I would gesso all of this straight away, okay, but I haven't got time for that at all. So I'm just going to go with it and I'll gesso it after I've stuck everything on. But usually I would say stick them on after you've gesso, because then the glue's not going to get sucked into the Medite at all. It's going to just sit on. I think that should be about right there. There we go. Let's get the bat wings on. Let's go for the skull next, and the crossbones. Okay, so I'm just going to follow Mike's lead because Mike's done a lovely job of that. So that's going to go there. So let's just, I'm using a grab and go because it's the best for the job, I believe. And let's just get, not quite sure where it touches, so I'm just going to put it all over. I'm just going to slide it down so his eye sockets are not obscured by the wings. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. There we go. And then the skull and crossbones sit round about, oh, it's stuck already, round about there. Next, let's do the RIP on here, just a little bit on there. Oh yeah, so normally what I would do is I'd put the I on first because that's the middle letter. Whoops, before I throw it all over the place. So I'm just going to put that in the middle. Which way around? No idea, I don't think it matters. And then the R here, and then the P. So tonight I'm going to do this 3D project, and I'm also going to do a journal page as well. So buckle yourselves in. Hopefully you've got a drink, non-alcoholic, alcoholic, whichever you prefer. I've just got a Pepsi. No, I'm not disappointed because we haven't had our tea yet. So if I'd had an alcoholic drink,
there'd be real trouble, wouldn't there?
There would be real trouble, I tell you. Now, on Mike's, he didn't put this extra piece on, but I will use it on mine. So head goes on there, a little bit around there. And then I'm going to line up the eye sockets and the nose. There we go, and just hold that on for a few seconds. And with mine, I'm actually going to use the crown as well. So a little bit on the crown next. And it fits beautifully on that part of the head. Now, if I put the jaw on, it's only going to be stuck by those two tiny bits there. So I want something to hold it off the base. Is that going to work? Oh yeah, that's going to work. This is just an odd piece that came out of the eye sockets, so that's just a bit of waste. So I'm going to stick it on there first. There we go, let that set for a moment while I just do this one. And just pop out these little bits. And I'm going to put this at the top of the gravestone here. That's rather nice, just above the RIP. And the bat, I'm actually going to, on Mike's, he's put it over the top here, which looks really cool, but I'm just going to have mine just flying off the edge there. Now this should have stuck, so now I can put a little bit of glue on there and a little bit those edges there, and then that should fit beautifully, which it does. How far in should we go? Let's go all the way in there. Alrighty, cool, that's good. So we're not going to stick the hands on because those are standing away from the base. These little bits go away. This is the stand, which we'll glue together like so. And just make sure that you get those absolutely spot on. There we go. I'm just going to put that to one side to dry, and then I've just got a tiny little bit there that needs popping out. And then this is the grass, which is going to stand away from the edge. It's going to go on there, but we're going to paint that separately, okay? So the next thing you do is get that all covered in black gesso. All right, but before we do that, I want to actually put some texture on it. So I'm going to get some True Grit, palette knife, and a bit of sponge. That should do. So I'm going to put some texture paste all over this to give me some texture. I know, just slap it on. Just be careful not to get it on that bottom bit there, because that's the bit that actually goes into the base, and if you get it on the bottom bit, it is not going to fit. Right, so we've got some texture paste on there, and we've got some on a sponge, and we just want to dab that on. Oops. Might be worth waiting until it dries first. I know I used this for black paint before, for black gesso, so that's why it's looking a bit dark. So that way you can, hopefully you can see that you do get a nice sort of texture onto the surface. I don't know whether this is the way Mike did his, but I'm just guessing that he did. And I just thought that was quite nice the way Mike had got some texture on his. Right, lovely. And then let that dry, and then you can gesso that with some black gesso. Alright, so get your spatula wiped clean. 5 minutes in and I'm covered in it. There we go. Just put that over there. Okay, so your hands, your arms, those need a bit of white gesso. So I'm going to put that somewhere safe.
Mike says near enough.
Near enough. Oh, bless. I mean, if I'd have been sensible, I would have actually phoned him and said, "Hey Mike, how did you do X, Y and Z?" So what I've done is I've put white gesso on the arms. I've got my grass and I've actually painted that with olive waistcoat, which is, I've gessoed it first, and I've got olive waistcoat, and I've put a little tiny bit of hot cocoa in just to give it that sort of browny look to it. So that's hot cocoa and olive waistcoat, and those are matte paints, and remember they're really concentrated, so you only need a little bit. And then I've painted this with black gesso. I did put the base on because I was worried that I might get texture paste all over the entrance to the base there, so I actually put it on. And the one thing I didn't do was I didn't stick the baton. I kept that separate because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. So I've actually painted that with a metallic black, which is called Raven Black. All right, and you know these here, I liked the cut, so I painted that with black gesso, and then I've painted it with black Raven Black metallic paint again, just because I thought it would look cool. So I've done that. I've also painted one of the pumpkins, so I gave that white gesso and then Burning Bonfire. Where's my Burning Bonfire? Here we go. Burning Bonfire matte paint. All right, so I did that. Now our little ghost, I've done that in just white gesso. So what I'm going to do now is just get my blue cast Luscious, and I'm going to mix up a bit of that for my ghosty. So I need a wet brush, I need a palette. So let me find my palette here. So wet brush, go into the powder, and you can see it sticks to the brush, and then put it on a palette and mix it in. Now mine looks a bit more blue than yours will. That's because I didn't realise that there must have been a tiny minuscule of dust for my blue vivids, and it just coloured it. So dip it in, mix it in with some water, and keep on adding the water until you get a nice creamy mix. And the reason why I've put it in one of these palettes, these are one of the Tim Holtz palettes, which are brilliant, I've got them on the website, is that you can reconstitute them. When you've mixed them with water, the Luscious, you can reconstitute them later on when they dry out, and that's why I've got lots of these really neat palettes with all my colours in. So I'm just going to paint this with the white Luscious, which has got a blue cast to it, so that it will look quite sort of ghoulish. Don't think I need to do the back really. Oops. There we go. Now with the Luscious, if you haven't used it before, the Luscious you can use with lots of different things because it's a powder and it's got pigment in if it's colour, and it's also got mica in it, and then a binder. So you can mix it with paints, translucent paints look great, watercolours. You can mix it with water to make a watercolour paint, mix it with your paper clay, your polymer clay. You can paint your polymer clay with it. Oh, there's loads of things, tons and tons of things you can do. Mix it with your slap it on range. There we go. You see that, how it hits the light, which is just what we want. And then the same with our ghost as well. I've used this same colour on the face of our spooky girl and spooky boy as well, which looks really good. Of course, we've got others with we've got the blue cast, red, green, violet, and of course this blue that I'm using. So there we go. So I might use that, I might not. Now I love the way
I think you made the red one up.
The red one? Have I not got the red one? He's got bits of green on it as well, which is really cool. And he's done his in matte. I'm not as clever as that. I'm just going to stick with that really, I think. Especially because I haven't got that much time. Because I want to spend some time on my page as well. It's an excuse really, isn't it? I mean, come on. Right, let's get a little bit of Luscious on this wee pumpkin. Sorry, I just lost my orange for a moment there. How many palettes have I got? Yes, I know. So let's get this orange at the bottom here. I know I've got a little bit of Luscious on there from my blue cast, but that's fine, that's okay. So all you need to do is when they've dried out in your palette, you just need to add water to it and it will reconstitute it. So this will give it just a little bit of a shine as well. But I have painted it with a matte paint to begin with to give it that lovely vibrant orange, and then I'm going over the top with a thin coat of the Luscious to give me a nice orangey shine to that. There we go, which is cool. I'm going to leave the grass as it is, methinks. I've got the base here which is done in black, but I will want to do that in olive as well, so I might as well do that now. Hey, that's an idea. Let's just move these out of the way for a little bit. Okay, try it over there. Let's get a bigger brush, which will probably help. This is my paint mat, by the way, underneath here, if you're just wondering. And let's get that olive waistcoat out, because that's what I used on the grass. So let's put a bit on there and let's get some water in with that. And let's just mix that in a little bit, and let's just do a thin coat on here, because it's not that you're really going to see much of this. There we go, that will do. That will do. And then let's do this base here, because this is behind the grass. Okay, so it doesn't need any paint effect, it just needs a bit of green on it. Right, there we go. That will do. Because what's going to happen is that's going to go at the front here, like that. So let's just tidy that away. Okay, so I'm just going to do a bit of dry brushing. on this, and I'm not really 100% sure what colours I'm going to do. Am I going to stick with the sort of black, white, maybe a little bit of green on there? I don't know. Let's just see what happens. So, Mike, what did you use? There's a little bit of black gesso. Let's have a little bit of white gesso. And then we've got a bit of grey. Can you see that? There we go. And let's just take off the excess and see what happens by giving it a little bit of a maybe a sponge would have been better. Let's just see what happens. I will have finished it by the time Mike replies.
He's probably having his tea.
It probably is having his tea, actually, yeah. He's had a busy day today. Are we watching it later, shouting, going, no, Kay, no, don't do it like that.
Black and white gesso at different shades, mixed a bit, then added white to lighten.
Yeah. Thank you, darling. That's good to know. See, that's a little bit... That area there is a bit heavy, so I'm going to go over the top again with black, because you can see all my brush marks. So let's just go over that again. And then that's really, really thin amount of paint. And I've got green on my hands, which is transferring onto there, which is fine because I am going to put a little bit of green on. See, there's hardly any paint on this paint mat, so I'm just using a dry brush and just holding it at the end and giving it a little bit of a flicker there, so it looks like we've got a little bit of moss. On there. Okay, let's just go with some more white. So it's still grey, but it's lighter. Okay, take off some excess. Let's have a go over here. Oh, far too much, Kay. Might have to go back over that. That's the trouble when you just pick up either too much paint or you're a bit too heavy-handed, and I tend to be a bit heavy-handed.
Rachel says gilding gum for the skull.
Gilding gum for the skull. Good idea.
Mike says lichen, not moss.
Lichen, not moss. Sorry. I don't think it matters that much at the bottom because it's going to be covered up by the grass. Just going to blast that grass because I keep touching it with my fingers. Okay, tad more lichen then. so it's not liching. He'll be rolling his eyes. He'll be definitely rolling his eyes at me. Let's dab a little bit then.
Mike says he's liking it.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Right, let me get a little bit darker on that crown. Put some black on my paintbrush and then I'm going to take it mostly off. Just to get that black again, and then dry that off and then try again with the white. I'm just going to get a different brush, one that's a bit drier. There we go, that'll do. Just for some white. Let's try down here just to take the excess paint off my brush. That's the one. That's the badger, Alfie. That's the badger. Start off at the bottom, take some of the excess off. That's better, isn't it? I'm getting there now. Yeah, we can see the texture now, can't we? Coming through. Yes, Kay, we can.
Yes.
Were you watching telly or something? Were you somewhere else? Are you back in the room? Is that the way to do it, Mike?
He says a natural sponge gives a good stone stipple effect.
That's a very good tip. If I'd have rung you and asked you that before, I could have got one out, but yeah. I actually really quite like that now. That's good. Just a hint of the lichen. Right, okay, I'm going to stop faffing around with that and I'm going to get it onto the base. So be careful when you're putting this on the base. This is, you know, thin and it fits perfectly. Okay, so no need to force it. Let me just put my lid on my paint pots before I knock them over, because I know what I'm like. And just put those out of harm's reach. And then I'm going to put those in water and get me grab and go. Right, so let's have a little bit, just a little bit. I didn't put glue on this first bit because it was such a nice tight fit that I didn't actually need it. So let me just, I'll have to do this off camera at an odd angle. While I find the edge to it. just gonna hold that in position. Right, so next I need, let me just leave that for a second. Next I need my grass and my arms. I do like the way Mike is actually drawn on. Watch me ruin it now. He's drawn on the little nails like this, which is very clever. Sorry, I'm concentrating. And then he's sort of done sort of veins coming down here. And yeah, sort of just some scratchy bits. His are better than mine, but I thought it was a lovely idea. Right, so these are going to go either side like this. So I think I'm going to stick them on. Which side? Which side should I do? Okay, I'm going to stick them on this side. About there. So that they're not touching the floor, because otherwise they'd completely disappear. And they're just facing in a little bit. I've put a bit too much glue on there, to be honest, because with grab and go, less is more, really. Because the more glue you've got there, the longer it takes to go off. Whilst that's happening, I'm going to stick Batty on here. So that's going to go on here, just flying off. So I just need to hold that on for about 5 seconds. Right, then that doesn't feel that secure. I should have put less glue on that. If you want to tidy up the glue, just use a damp brush just to clean it up, but it's on the back anyway. So I'll just do the front here. Damp brush just to clean up those bits, but it dries clear anyway. There we go. Bits of paper on there, don't want that. And that's going to go on the front here. So I'm going to have to keep it upright, I'm afraid, whilst I stick this on. So it's going to go just at this piece here. Now, if you had any scraps left, you could actually stick them on there just to support it. But no. How did I know that was going to happen? Because I put too much glue on it. And then that's going to go like that. Don't put too much glue on it, Kay. Alright. Just clean off that bit of glue. Right, and I just thought, this cat here, what do you think, Alfie?
Yeah.
I think she'd look really cool there, wouldn't she? So she goes up to about there. So we just need a little bit, oh, undo your glue, okay? A little bit on the legs. Just a little bit this time, Kay. You know, I can just smear it out a little bit and put her There we go. See, that grabs really nice and quick when you've only got a little bit of glue on. And then the pumpkin, about here, I think so. So let's have a little bit of a pumpkin. Again, just smear it round so that it's not all globby. Ah. There we go. And ghosty behind, or should we just leave that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good behind.
Okay, let's just move that. No, I think behind. Do you think?
Behind.
Yeah. Okay, so we can just put a little bit on there. I have to say, this is really good fun to do. I mean, it's better if you just take your time over it and let each piece just grab. That is really cool. Whoops, let me just bring it down for you. There you go. Ta-da! I really enjoyed that. That's so cool. Nearly as good as Mike's. That is lovely. Right, I'm just going to let Alfie take over for a couple of minutes while I just tidy up and get my journal out. Over to you.
Okay, let's go to the special screen. So I've been playing this afternoon. I wasn't crafting. I was messing about with this thing. So I thought I'd show you where you can find all the latest goodies on our website. So here we are. We go into shop and we go into latest releases, and there you can see all of the good stuff. So the big stamp bundle here, the first one, available for £60 today, normal price £77.94. So we can click in there and see a nice big picture of all the stamps, and then you can also see a list of all the individual stamps there as well. So if we go back, we've also got the two smaller bundles, the Spooky Trio bundle, which is the Pumpkin Monster, Spooky Boy and Spooky Girl, and we've got the Spooky Journaling Stamps bundle, which is the Dreaded Damask, Halloween Dictionary page and Poison Labels. And then they're obviously all available individually as well. And then we've got the Terrible Tombstone kit you've just been seeing, with the Ghastly Ghouls collection, which has got the pumpkins and the ghost and the cat and a witch, a couple of pumpkins in there. And then from this morning we've got the icon, and then there's the two masks, letters and numbers. So there you have it, all available. Just click on them and add them to your basket. Right, moving back to Kay now.
Okay, so I'm going to play with the Pumpkin Monster, also the Skullduggery borders as well. And I've got a page in my journal, so I'm just going to clip these together to keep them sort of out of the way, and then I'm going to take my page and fold back the cover so that the only bit is that the page is nice and flat that I'm going to work on. And I'm just going to take some paper and just create that space there, so you can see that. Alright, so I wanted to start off with Pumpkin Monster, and I'm going to do this backwards, as it were, because normally I do a background first and then I'll layer it up and stamp on top, but this time I'm going to do it the opposite way. You'll see why. Because I want to, instead of stamping and then creating a mask and putting the mask on and trying to do that, I decided I was too lazy to do that, to be honest. So I figured out a way of actually just doing it like this. So, oh, I did that last time. I didn't get enough ink on his eyes. So he's going to go about here. So I use the flat of my hand because your body weight is obviously a lot stronger than your fingertips. Look at that! Isn't he gorgeous? He's so sweet. No, he's not. It's the opposite of sweet. So I just use a rag just to clean the ink off my stamps. There we go. Done. Sorted. Put away. Right. So next I'm going to do the skullduggery border. So that needs to go corner to corner, like so. This fine black I'm using. I love this. It took me ages to do this collage, but I really enjoyed doing it, and I love using it. I haven't used it for ages, so this is a real pleasure. So this is going to go right across the bottom here. Now this is going to go and get in the way, so I'm going to move it along a little bit so that it's more like that. You can of course take the page out of your journal, but again, it's just a wee bit too lazy for that. So this is going to go across the bottom here, and again, heel of my hand. Look at that. What a beauty. Such a fab stamp. There we go. So that's the skulls. And these are really long. So that one is about 7.5 inches, or nearly, well, about 19.5 centimetres.
So Witchcrafting has said, any advice on getting a good print with stamping? Yeah,
use a stamping platform. It's always really good to use a stamping platform if you can't do that. I use these because they're easier to hold because of the shape of them, and they're thin, so they're not really heavy. I always had trouble with the old blocks that were so thick and heavy. I couldn't do it. And let me just show you with this one then. So let me have a think. I want this bit on there. Is it going to go? Yeah, just at the end. That's going to go on there. So get that nice firmly on your block. Ink up really well. Use a juicy ink pad. You know, when you've got a VersaFine, for example, you know, buy the refill ink as well. So you always got a nice juicy ink pad. And you can see I'm just tapping it all along. numerous times. And then first of all, just figure out where it's going to go. Just hover over the top of it. That feels about right. And then when you place it down, keep one hand that's totally immobile, okay, while you just press with the heel of your hand, okay. If you want to then swap over, hold on with this hand and press over there, okay. And then you want to pick it up both at the same time, and that way you get a nice clean image. And because you're using VersaFine, it makes a big difference, the ink as well. I like this. It's personal choice, but I like it because it shows off all of the really fine tiny lines really well. It gives you a really good black. It's good for embossing as well, and I just think it's a brilliant ink. So I also want a little bit down the edge here, but I do think a stamping platform is brilliant. I've got one, and I do use it. Now, I was cleaning up the edges there because I do tend to get ink on the edges. If that happens a lot, I'll get a pair of scissors and I'll just trim off the excess. Obviously not the stamp, just the excess rubber where the ink's catching. And I just want a little bit down here, round about there. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Look at that, just the edge there. Looks really cool. And then I'm actually going to use the web as well. So I'm using all of them. Oh, there's one missing. That one's missing.
I haven't had it.
No, I know. I think I've seen it somewhere. So this is a lovely web design. It's nice and drippy and droopy. There we go. Just got a little bit of overzealous inking there. And this is going to go at the top of my page. So I'm just going to make sure that the stamp goes over the edge of the page. So excuse me while I lean over. And just make sure that, can you see, I've just gone over the edge of the page. Just so that that web isn't going to end up floating. That's a bit fabulous, isn't it? Yay! I love that. Okay, so parts of this are just sort of floating in midair. So we want to finish off these edges. So I'm just going to first of all get a piece of paper and cover up the rest of this. So when I'm leaning across it, I'm not going to smudge any of the ink or whatever. See, look, I'll get ink everywhere. So these edges here, I'll just check. Oh yeah, that's okay, right thickness. These edges of the web need to be joined up with the edge of the page. So doesn't have to be straight. That pen isn't great. Let's just try and that's better. And then to make it look a little bit more realistic, just put a few bits in to make it look a little bit more realistic. And then this here, so this can just come up. There we go. So it's not floating anymore. Alrighty. We've got a lot of black there. Let's get some colour down, shall we? Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And let's get some colour. So, now I'm going to use a little bit of, well, let's do the background first. Let's get the original oak out of the vivid refills. Okay, whoops, that's quite a lot, quite drippy. Right, so with this you want to control where your colour goes, because we've done the stamping first and now we're going to do the background. Okay, so in order to do that, this is really high quality watercolour card in this journal. This is one of our 8x8 journals. So I can actually completely soak this paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint water only where I want this background colour to go. Why did I not do it before? Because I wanted to be able to colour him and all different parts of this, but I didn't want to do all the masking. Okay, I think we'll go for this up here as well. While I do this, I might I'll just do this bit first. Right, so we've got our vivid and we need lots of water because this is really, really concentrated. Okay, so now we're going to paint where the water is. Now I went round here and I missed out these little pumpkins hanging down. And make sure I don't get that pumpkin either, because I need to be able to paint that. So why did I paint with water first? Well, first of all, it's not going to grab hold of the paper. It is going to run, which is good. And also it's going to control where the colour goes as well, because it will only really flood where the water is. So I'm just going to put plenty on here. I think I might do this a different colour. So I'm just gonna get this all in the right places. I do actually want the tree itself to be this lovely oak brown. It's called Original Oak. So I want that to be a really nice, rich colour. I'm going to get nice and close now to that pumpkin monster. There we go. Now, do I want some down here? I wasn't sure before, but yes, I do. But what I don't want is, I don't want it actually on the skulls themselves. I want those to remain white. So I'm just going to avoid them. Okay, so let's just get some colour on there. And I think I'm going to put some green here. So I'm just going to avoid that. And then again, more water a little bit more of that. And then I'm going to just come at the bottom here and avoid those skulls again. There we go. All right. Let's get a little bit deeper up here. So this is the beauty of this watercolour. It just can take all this abuse with lots and lots of layers of loads and loads of water. So, and the more layers you put on, the deeper it's going to get. And this Vivid is translucent, so I can put more colours on top and it will just mix beautifully. Right, so I'm going to just dry that off really quickly, and then I'm going to do some splashing with it. Let's get this a little bit darker down here. And a little bit dark around here. Okay, that's looking how I want it. For now, let's dry that off. Right, so this is dry now. The good thing about the Vivids is they are water reactive. So now I can actually give this a spray. The reason why I dried it and now I want to wet it is just to give it a texture. So I'm just going to get this spray here and give it a good spray of water and put some bigger drips on. Okay. And then you just leave it for a minute. Okay, so whilst that's cooking, let's just clean my brush, wipe this up, and let's get some colour out. So first thing I want to do is get some orange and yellow. So Loxley yellow. All right, so need just a drop of that. We also want we do want some Will Scarlet, which is the red. Drop of that. And we also want an orange, which is Alanadale. Okay, so we've got yellow, orange and red. So we're going to layer these because these are translucent, so you can layer them one on top of the other and be safe in the knowledge that they are just going to go in together. So add some water to this, and we are just going to paint yellow on the highlighted areas. Okay, so round his eyes here, let's get his teeth in, round his other eye here. Lovely. Okay, nice strong colour. So let's get plenty on there because you want it nice and vibrant and bright. And then I'm going to come in with Alanadale, and we're going to come down from the top, and we're going to just go around the outer edge. There we go. You could hear that. That was the fast train from London, wasn't it, Alfie? You can tell by the speed it's going. And then we're going to go over that yellow here at the chin, and we're just going to bring a little bit at the bottom here. All right, just so that it mixes in quite nicely. So you can see where it's gone over the yellow, it's lighter, and where it's just on natural, it's nice and orange. Now can you see that lovely texture that's coming up here from that water? So I can actually dab that off now. Oh, see, isn't that a lovely texture that you get from that? It's just the same techniques that you can do with your distress inks, exactly the same. And then I'm going to come in with the Will Scarlet. Now this is a really rich red, so on top of the orange it's going to give me a really, really deep orange rather than red. So let's just take it round the edges here, over the chin. Just work it down. Move my sprayer, that's it. Just bit by bit. And again, because they're all translucent, it means that it's like laying coloured glass on top of each other. There we go. Clean my brush, dry that off. So you've just got a slightly damp brush, and then we're just going to blend that in. There you go. Blend that in, because they're water reactive, so you can do that. But you do need to use watercolour card, because if you start doing this on super smooth, it'll start to pill. And can you see it makes it look a lot rounder now? And as soon as I've got this orange here, I'm going to do these little pumpkins, or yeah, they are pumpkins, aren't they? Let's add a little bit of red Will Scarlet to that, because we want really, really bright orange, don't we? You still with me, folks? You're not fallen asleep yet? It's difficult, isn't it, when we're just colouring in? But bear with. And then I'm going over the top with a little bit of the Loxley yellow, just to bring that.
Jackie says she doesn't do Halloween, but I think you've convinced her she needs to do a Halloween journal.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, Halloween isn't as big here, is it, really, than in the States? And I know, you know, we take children round for trick-or-treating in the early evenings now, but I just like all the imagery of it. It just works so well. I'm going to use some of this red with...
Mike says totally riveted.
Oh, bless you, thanks. I've put some roses in this collage here, so if you look hard you will be able to spot there's a couple of roses, and also there's a few daisies as well. Where's my yellow gone? Loxley yellow, there we go. So you can see you only need one drop at a time, because it is very, very, very concentrated. And just add a water to it, and then let's do these little daisies here. Which are lovely. Right, let's get some, I'm just going to get a bit more yellow on there just to blend that in a little bit. So I need some green. So my Robin Hood is quite a teal green, so I'm going to mix it with some yellow. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments. So let's just do some little flicks up. Don't have to really follow anything. Just gives us a little bit of extra colour. Now that's a wee bit bright, so what you can do is you can add a little bit of red to that and it will make it like a moss green. So let's go over the top with that. That's better, isn't it? That's more of a moss green. So what did I do? I had some Loxley yellow with the green, which is, why do I forget the name? Robin Hood, of course it is. We've just been to Edwinstowe today. And just a tad of Will Scarlet. So yeah, after we'd finished working, we went out for a late lunch, didn't we, Alfie?
Mm-hmm.
After taking the dogs a walk, which was nice because we didn't actually get caught in the rain, did we? And then we went up to Edwinstowe, the home of the Major Oak, and famous for Robin Hood. Right, so we've got a little bit of green going on there. Still not sure what to do here. I think I will put some yellow in there because I can. Loxley yellow. Just want a little bit of that. I want a tad of Allendale, which is the orange. So clean our brush. Let's get some bright yellow here. The reason for this is that I have actually got one of my Ghoulish Girls to go in. There you go, there she is, all ready to go in. And I just want a little bit of orange to go in the centre of these daisies, just a hint of colour. And I don't know why I'm fussing over that. Anyway, yeah, we just need to frame it, don't we? So let's get a bit of something like black. So this is the Sheriff of Nottingham. Of course the Sheriff of Nottingham is actually going to be black. Of course he is. So let's get a wet brush and a tad of him, and let's just put a little bit of a light wash just around the edges here. Yeah, I think that actually looks better if it's a bit darker down here, doesn't it? Then the skulls aren't floating. There we go. So make sure that isn't just like a straight line. And let's just put a little bit up the side here. There we go. And if you work your paintbrush, you could reconstitute some of that lovely oak brown, that original oak brown. As well. There we go. Right, Okay, that's good. Let's just give that a quick blast. Lovely. Right, so I do have my words from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I've gone over it with the same orange, the Eleanor Dale, and I've got our lovely ghoulish girl. She's not called that, she's called a spooky girl, isn't she? And then let's just put her down on here. Let's get a little bit of grab and go, and then I'm just going to use my finger to spread that out. So we've just got a little bit. There we go. And shall I put her here? Shall I put her on the top of there? No, I think she needs to go smack bang over there, and I'm going to give her a little tilt of the head. See, that is nice, that yellow behind her, isn't it? That does work. And then let's have a little bit of grab and go on here. There we go. Now, that does need a little bit of a finish. Black or green? Did you say green, Alfie?
No.
No. Black.
Yeah, black.
Black. Okay, so my Stabilo pencil. Something's happened to my screen, baby. There we go. So it's been really sort of easy going tonight, hasn't it? I can see that I'm going to be doing quite a few Facebook Lives on Halloween. So I hope you don't mind, because I'm having far too much fun with it. And as you can see, I think the DT have had a brilliant time as well, because they've done some amazing stuff. So I have to say thank you again to Carolyn Lakin, Sue Jacob, Kerry Sturman, Lorna Angwin, Leslie Blaymire and Wendy Wallace. Thank you so much. There we go. That just makes it jump out a little bit better. And with it being in my... Is this the right one? No. In my journal, I've got to put a date somewhere, haven't I? What date is it today, Alfie? It's
2nd.
Already. So this is me. KHS. And it's already the 2nd of August. Wow. 23. There we go. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Oh, I just wanted to show you what I did this morning. So I did this one this morning. So you can have a look on YouTube, our YouTube channel, which is Indigo Blue Tube. So I did him this morning, and then I did her, but then I thought she was a bit lonely, so I did him to match as well this morning, or this afternoon, having a play. And then of course we did our, where is it? Here it is. We did our lovely I love that. Our tombstone. Yay! Thanks to Mike Deakin for designing that for me.
Jackie's just asked, what make of pen do you use? I struggle to get good black pen.
What, the Micron pen? this one. It's a Pigma Micron. It's a Sakura one. Yeah, so, and it's an archival ink, so that's probably why it works quite well. I also use a rollerball. Have you got a rollerball there in that tub there, Alfie? Which is a Pentel. Here we go. This is it. Uniball. There we go, by Mitsubishi Pencil Company. These are really good. This is a black one, and it's just a Uniball pen, and those work really well as well. Okay, so there you go. Thank you so much for joining us. I've had a lovely day, and thank you so much for supporting us. Say goodnight, Alfie.
Good night, Alfie.
And it's good night for me.